The fish we are just installed here are not for the market purposes.
These are for consumption.
It's for the family consumption.
So you are saying the main reason why it was built here is to restrict people from accessing the villa from the back
From
side.
anywhere. This is the clay bath you have ever been seeing, yes. This is the clay bath here. So it's just located alongside the river YouTube.
What is the name of the river?
The river YouTube.
Hello guys. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Of course, this is Culture Hub TV, your number one online TV. Remember, this is the only place across Eastern and Central Africa where you will always find exclusive contents of trending stuffs of different cultures and traditions of different tribes of Africa, or you will also find the vlogging contents of traveling contents of very interesting and touristic places of this country. So guys, I don't want to waste time. Remember, I told you I'm in Nyabo Hanse. I am Marwa's place, and guys, I thought it wouldn't be fair if we don't talk about his compound, if we don't talk of what's happening here. And one of the amazing things, one of the things that is making Villa Medellin to look like Villa Medellin is its surrounding Fishpond. Guys, do you know Marwa just built a fish pond outside his house? And I don't want to waste time because I have the engineer here who did this amazing structure, and I want to know more about the idea of building the fish pond and also what it took him to build this. Hello guy.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, it's _Gintu. That's my channel name, whereby I am a fish farmer, and I am the person who was just beside, who just was the construction, who had the idea of the construction. You can just view, this is the first fish pond we have. We have just allocated the fish, they're just there, you can just view them there. Yeah, so we have fish here. This is a tilapia fish. We have two species of tilapia, whereby we have the red tilapia and the bright black tilapia. So we just installed both the black and the red tilapia here.
What's the difference between them, the black and the red?
The bright black, it's just the bright black. It's just that's the color it is. Yeah, the red one, the tails are just red in color, so that's the difference between them. Yeah, but
the taste is just the same.
The taste is the same because they're tilapia, Nile tilapia. Yeah, they're the same.
Okay, you just say that you are the man behind the idea of the construction of this wonderful structure.
Of course, yes.
Where did you gain the idea?
Okay, I've been in aquafish farming for more than 5 years. So I have a project of a fish farming that's just besides I am Marwa perimeter wall at the far end. So I've been practicing fish farming for that 5 years. So I have more experience in terms of fish farming, production sector, feeding sector, installation sector, so and the construction sector.
And the construction sector.
Yes.
So the construction part.
Yes.
As I can just see that it's just built behind his villa, right? Yeah. Why did you decide to put it this place and maybe not the other side?
Okay. The point behind the scene is this fish pond, as it's just located here, the main purpose that most of the people doesn't know, it's to restrict people to have one panel or the pathway accessing the villa. So as you can see, now you can see the point now. Okay, as you can see, we have a parking there, and this is just a borehole here. So it's either you pass through the gate and you access the villa, nor you turn around and go to the main door, where it's the main door of the villa, so as you can access. The second point, the fish we are just installed here are not for the market purposes.
These are for consumption.
It's for the family consumption.
Okay.
The family. I am Marwa or Team Marwa. It's for the Team Marwa consumption.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the people who are just the project is about.
So you are saying the main reason why it was built here is to restrict people from accessing the villa from the back
From
side.
anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
To just make sure that people will access it from the front door.
From the front door.
Okay.
Yes.
And now I can see that there are, I don't know, faces, or how should I call it. There is this one here.
This is called the first fish pond, which is the first segment. We have the second segment, then the third one. So,
but before we go there,
yes.
the water.
Yes.
In this first phase, where does it come from?
The water is just coming from that source, spring source.
Or this spring source?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you can see, we have what we call the cement bags here.
The cement bags.
These cement bags are just arranged in a manner that they have barrows that will just
to
allow water to pass onto our fish pond. Because this fish pond, the way it's just located here, it doesn't possess any kind of water here.
Yeah.
So we have to retrieve water from that far end to access the fish pond, so as it can just raise. That's why you see at this end here we have constructed a barrier, and at that end we have a barrier, so as this water can just raise. The more it raises at this point, it will now raise at the pond. So it goes from that level to this level. Yes.
And could you please tell us maybe how many fishes did you plant in this structure?
First, we started with to test if our water will just sustain them, whereby we just installed 10 on the first day. So as if they could just survive, one day we will know we have good water here source for them to stay. So yesterday we just stocked here 200 brood fish. Yeah, because they are just 3 months old.
3 months old.
Yeah, that's what we
so in
now
total
need.
We are anticipating there is 210. Nice
yes.
one.
But they are just breeding. So they are going to give
so
to young ones.
You placed both male and female?
Yeah, the gender, this species here was just about 3-to-1 ratio.
3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, which
now
the male is 1 and the female is just 3. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was just the monosex somehow, but the monosex of the female was higher than the male.
Female. Yeah, the male.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is now the second.
This is the second pond here. We are about to let water to get full because you can just see how it's just popping from down. So
is it coming from this borehole?
It might be because we have a large volume of water at that place, so it can be just moving from that point and to this fish pond here. So it was just constructed with high knowledge, whereby we should leave some spaces so we can just leave water to pop in. So this fish pond here we just accumulate, but we have not talked about how many brood fish we are going to install at that fish pond.
Yeah, sure.
They will just reach up to 800 by the time, because it's large enough to hold the 800. And this one will just have the 500 to 300 to 500, so which are the brood fish. But if we could just use the fingerlings, which are the monosex, and they are not treated in a manner that they're just going to breed, we could have just invested here like the 1,000
or more.
Yeah, more. Yeah, because we have, if the fingerlings or the fish we have just purchased, if they're just going to breed, you just install less, because they're just going to breed and it will decrease the number, because it will now bring what we call the competition. So if we are just going to stock the monosex, if it's just male, because onto our market we rely on the male fish. Yeah, whereby it's for the market purposes. They have a high growth rate than the female. So I, as a farmer, I rely on the monosex of male. Yeah.
Does it mean that the male also? Does it mean that the male also, they are always huge in size, maybe?
Okay, no. When you are just purchasing the fingerlings or the fry, you can just call them the young ones. They are of the same size, but the difference between that is the male fish or fingerlings, they grow faster than the female. Yeah, so we can just rely on the male because of the production rate, and if only you have feeds which are such good in terms of the growing possession, fish. Yeah, so we have some types of feeds here, whereby we have the starter mashes for the fingerlings and the fry. We have the grower mashes, and we have the pellets. So it will depend on the size of the fish they are. So if they're just fry or they're just fingerlings, you just use the starter mashes for like 2 months, then 2 to 3 months. So it will depend on the fertility of water. whereby from there now you just introduce the second mash, which is the grower mash, so as they can now expand. Then from there now you, after some 4 months there now, you just introduce the pellets. So the hint behind the scene is you introduce the particles of the feeds should go hand in hand with the size of an eye of a fish. So that size of an eye of a fish, it's the same particle that fish consume. Yes, that's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yes.
Guys, isn't that interesting? but that could be unfair for us humans if we could be consuming something with the size of our eyes.
Yeah. That's the unique thing about the tilapia.
The tilapia.
Yeah.
But do you think it's unfair? Couldn't it maybe eat something larger than the eye?
Because of maybe we can just talk about the ratio of the consumption ratio. Yeah. So the tilapia fish are just the top feeders. They're not bottom feeders. They only eat feeds that are just floating on the surface water. Yes, that's the only feeds they can just feed. But any feed that goes to the ground, they don't consume. But that's why we are just advised to use the concentrate feeds, because the concentrate feeds are just made in a way that they can just float on water. So, but if we use the local material like the maize husk, the chaffs, maybe millet husks, so people do use those. So some like the maize chaff can just sink into the water, whereby they go to the ground and will just formulate toxic substances at the surface, whereby they just introduce something by the name hydrogen sulfide onto the ground, whereby that hydrogen sulfide, as you know from the chemist, it's just a harmful toxic substance. So it will just kill the fish you just stocked. So you are just advised to use the concentrate ones that just float on water.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's very interesting. They're over there. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, but they're really doing well.
Yeah, they're there up to the far end.
Up to the far end.
Yeah, but in terms of feeding, we are just we fed them twice. We have to feed them twice
a day.
Yeah,
okay.
Around 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, maybe we proceed down there. So guys, I hope you have heard. This is our engineer. He's really doing good, and it seems like he's a very enlightened man to matters fish.
But we can just talk about, we have the cement bags allocated alongside this. Now, this is what we call the flying beam.
The flying beam.
I think you can just view it from the first fish pond there, which is at the flying beam.
The flying?
It's called the flying beam.
Okay.
That's why that's the technique we used. You can see it. We have some columns.
The flying beam.
Yeah, that's the upper side. That's where now our name of this fish pond is coming from. It's now called the flying beam fish pond, whereby we use that technique because this fish pond here doesn't have water here, so we have to retrieve water from that source towards this. So that's why we use the cement bags here filled with soil. So the main purpose is just to just
allow some water
inside and to create some what we call the puddles or some seepages where now the breeding can just take place, because they need a breeding zone. If they cannot go to the surface of the ground surface, they can just chip onto the bags where they can just find somewhere good to breed, because they don't. They have their own secret. Yeah, they have their own secret in terms of.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
You must have done a very big research on this.
Because of we can just talk about.
Or it's something you've been doing. So
I've been doing so. Yeah, it's just the normal thing I encounter day to day.
Okay.
Yes. So this fish pond here now. We have seepages. I don't know if you know about the seepage.
What is the seepage?
The seepage is a place where now water can just get to get out of the pond. So it's like a crack or a paveway that will just extra water to pass through, or will just now pass without your acknowledgement. So that's what we call, or the oozing out of that water. So that place that ooze water out is called a seepage in terms of the fish farming. So this fish pond is still in construction. So you can see what is just popping in, but it's not coming full. So we have an outlet here, which is the drainage outlet.
This place.
Yeah, we have a drainage outlet here. This one here. So it's just sealed. So if you want to drain water out, you can just open this pipe here. We have a sealed.
And it will drain water.
It will now drain water out from the pond. So it's called a drainage pipe. And we have an inlet here in case the first fish pond is just full. We have an inlet.
Down
which
there.
No. Upper. That at the upper.
The upper one.
Yeah, that's the what is called the inlet.
There.
But the inlet onto the second fish pond. But onto the first fish pond, it's called the outlet.
Yeah, to the first fish pond.
It's an outlet. But to the second fish pond, it's an inlet. Yeah, and it's the same as this one. We have an outlet of the second fish pond, but to the third one, it's an inlet.
It's an inlet.
Yeah, it's the same. So that's what we are just going to do here. So this fish pond here, it's number 3. We are just going to rely on this water is just going to be full at this,
water
so to flow onto this one, so as we can now accommodate here like now we are now going to use a different type of the fish installation. Maybe we are just going to use the tout fish or the golden fish or the turtles. So we shall see what's just good for this place as a deco.
And you haven't mentioned anything to do with the mudfish, or mudfish is the same as the tout?
No. The mudfish, we have a unique name of the mudfish. It's called the catfish.
Oh, the cat,
the catfish. But the mudfish is the local ones we are just getting from the water tunnels, from the rivers. So they are just small black. But the catfish are very huge in terms of the growing capacity, and they are just somehow greenish, bright greenish in color. So those are kind of the catfish rely on a huge, awesome amount of water, whereby it should be like 1.20 meters of the depth of water. So as when they are just, they have that waste. So the waste they are just producing out, it should be diluted with that water. They have a lot of waste, so that they give out. So the water should be of a huge depth, so as it can now dilute that their waste so quickly, so they cannot suffocate or die with their own waste. Yes, that's why we don't use them here, because we don't rely on a very huge or some amount of water, because that's a house. So we might have a breakage of water, so we can have maybe a short in terms of there. So we rely.
By the way, I wanted to know.
Yes.
Just on that note.
Yes.
How sure do you trust these walls? Especially that one.
The downward.
Yeah.
It's a double wall. Down there. It's a double wall.
Okay.
And it's just the beams that have just constructed like this one here. There are two. It's from the downwards and the upward. So it's just strong enough because we have what we call a column here and a column at the far end. So the beams are just constructed alongside there are just two up to this far end. So we just constructed using the bricks, because sometimes bricks are good in terms of constructing any kind of tanks, so it now absorbs water, it cannot deliver it out in terms of oozing. And we have constructed this wall using a very high concentration of the ratio in terms of the sand and the cement and the waterproof. So they are of a good ratio. Yes,
the strength is high.
Yes.
You know, I was saying that because of I am just anticipating that this might be the place where it will hold much water compared to this. These other ones.
And we have the outlet there. So
there are two outlets.
Case, right? There are two. Because if you can just know the downwards, that's the level of that's the level. That's the level where this level is just landing onto that level, whereby the downer pipe is. So the upper pipe there, you can just see it's just 0.90 meters of the depth. So if water will just go full, it will now have to access as a overflow.
Okay.
Yes.
you mentioned something about having your own fish pond.
Yes, I have.
Somewhere around here.
Yes.
Maybe we could pay a visit to that place.
Yes, we can. That's now the reality on the ground. The earthen fish pond. Now the reality of the fish farming.
Okay.
This is just what we call a decor of this house. So we should have a decor. So that's why we used this technique. Yes, but we have now the natural fish ponds.
Okay.
We can just head there so as we can learn 2-3 things.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go see. Wow. But now about but I understand. But I'm just asking if maybe I could just know something about the outlet now.
Yes.
Supposing now the water overflows.
Yes. Yes.
We are expecting that it should come from this outlet, right?
The upper one.
Yes. And do you guys have a specific place where now this water will be channeled to, or it will just flow?
No. Sometimes this compound need a level, so as we can just have it's just like a nature, because we are around the river source. So this place is just it's like a swampy, but it has been managed to become the way it is, but just a swampy. So we need to rechannel water to pass through some channels or drainages, so as people can just see the nature of this area. So they can just jump and enjoy, or they can just remove their shoes and just jump onto. Yes, so we want that naturality here.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
Let's go and see. Wow. But the idea is amazing.
Yes.
I like the idea of the decor. I'm sure by the time it ends, it will be a very beautiful scene.
By the way.
Yeah.
So it's by time it will just be constructed over. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So guys, we are still in Ayamarwa compound, but we are leaving it. I am assuming this is the
exit. The exit. But it's just an emergency door.
It's an emergency door, right?
This is the door to access the clay bath.
The clay bath. Oh, by the way, I heard about the clay bath.
The clay bath?
I just saw it on his channel.
Yes.
This is the clay bath.
This is the clay bath you have ever been seeing. Yes. This is the clay bath here. So it's just located alongside the river YouTube.
What is the name of the river?
The river YouTube.
It's the river YouTube.
It was baptized as the river YouTube because more of the content creators who are just accessing Ayamarwa's villa, they have to shoot a video that entails the river. So it was just baptized as the river YouTube. It's the famous river in YouTube.
Yeah, sure.
Most of the people have just viewed it. Yes.
I've also seen it in YouTube many times.
Yeah.
So about the clay bath.
Yes.
How does it work?
This clay bath, it's now you can just enter here via the gears. There's a person who is just operating here. It's like you bathe using the clay. This place is just clay. So the idea beyond this one, the guy who was just behind this magical idea wanted people to shower using the clay, and you can just be massaged using the clay. So, and you can just when you just finished in terms of a massage, you can now go onto the river
and wash yourself.
Of course, yes, and you be clean. So there's a place there that the land is just protruding onto the river. So that's now a place you can just rest.
You have a sun bath.
Of course, yes, yes. It's just natural that way.
It's amazing, by the way.
That,
and I just want to know, so you if maybe you want to have the bath,
yes,
do you fill in some water, or just at this level you are okay?
That's the level. Because this place is so muddy.
Oh, that place?
Yes.
Okay.
If you just step inside there,
it's muddy.
It's like we can just talk about 30 centimeter feet deep. Yes, it's just muddy. So if you just step there, you can just your legs can just sink. So as you can now be massaged at this area. So I see people just what is called. Most of the people who are just coming here, the people want to experience more.
Okay. Yeah. I will try that later. So how do we go?
We go through this.
We go this way.
Yes.
Nice one. So guys, on my left, it is the river YouTube. You can see, and these goats, are they for slaughtering for consumption, or
Those are the consumption rate for the consumption.
Okay. Wow. So guys, you can see how our road is built.
Just alongside, beside the river YouTube.
It's beside, our road is beside River YouTube, the most famous river on YouTube. And we are heading to our engineer's fish pond.
It's underscore Gintu.
It's underscore Gintu. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Make sure you follow him. For those of you who might maybe need at some point a fish pond, he might be your best option. Yeah, because he is doing some wonderful job.
Now the project is
Oh, here is the project.
yes.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I love the environment.
It's cool.
It's very cool. Very cool. I am enjoying the fresh air.
Welcome.
Yes. Wow. You see how cool it is?
This now is the project of fish farming.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 3 fish ponds
Three
here.
of them.
Yes, the 3 fish ponds here.
Uh-huh.
So this is the largest one, followed by the far end there. Then at that point there, you have the 3rd one.
Okay.
So this one by now it's not yet stocked.
Oh, this one is not
Yeah,
yet stocked.
yeah. It has been renovated very soon.
Okay.
So the only thing I'm just waiting for is just fertilizing it. So as now we can have the growth of the
How do
algae.
you fertilize it?
Fertilization is over 2 way. We can just use the animal waste to fertilize it, or we can just use which we call the fertilizers, the commercial fertilizers, to fertilize it. But
And what is the importance of fertilizing the natural ground?
I depend on the use of animal waste, which is the cow dung. The cow dung, as you know, the color is just greenish in color, yeah? The wet one,
Yeah.
The fresh, we can just talk about the fresh. So if you just dip it to this water, it will now turn water into green, whereby providing the nutrients relevant to the growth of some plants, as you know. So
the algae.
the algae we are just talking about. So that's where the point I was just coming to that point, whereby it will now neutralize the water and it will now facilitate the growth of algae. As you know, the tilapia fish eat algae unto their entire cycle. So they use it time to time, annual or after the halfway annual year, so they can just use the algae. The second point about the use of the fertilizer, which is the animal waste, which is the cow dung, it will now turn water into green, whereby it will reduce exposing the fish unto the predators. So predators cannot view the fish direct. So it will now minimize the predators, accessing onto the pond. But most of the predators cannot step into large water bodies because they have fear. So you know that. But they have tall legs, but they cannot. This pond, this pond is just 1.12. Wow, no, it's just 1.20 meters of depth. So the bird can just dip themselves, they can just sink. So, but the predators I'm just talking about here, the common ones are 2: the heron and the stock, which is the what's they called, the marabou stock. Yeah, so those are the most common predators. Yeah, that are just accessing this farm. So the third point about the use of the fertilizing the water here is when you use the cow dung, you have 90% that snakes cannot access this point because of the scent of the cow dung. So if you just loiter around here, or you can just
pushes them away.
Yeah. So they cannot even have a rest onto this water body nor alongside the dikes we are just stepping. So the fourth point about that, if you have the nursery beds around here, you can just water the nursery bed or the seed bed using the water, which is just the turbidity is just green. So that's the nutrients even plants need because of the nutrients of the animal waste. Yeah, as you know, they have nutritive value to the plants. So those are the big 4 points, which are the positive impacts of using the cow dung. Yes.
Guys, isn't that amazing, man? And you know what? One thing that I've just learned from that, from the cow dung, and which I have took in store, let me use that term,
Yes.
is that the cow dungs can chase away snakes.
Of course.
So in simple words, we can say that maybe in a homestead whereby you have a lot of cows,
Yes.
you will rarely find snakes.
You will rare. Yes.
So snakes hate the smell of the
Scent of the cow dung.
Okay,
They
wow.
cannot go hand in hand.
Hi.
So
That's
when we just
amazing.
install here fingerings or fry, because the fry we are just talking about here, maybe person can just talk about the fry is the cooking method,
Yeah,
but we are not talking about the cooking method. The fry, these are the very small fingerlings which are just 2 to 5 days, and we have the fingerlings now. They are just from 5 days to around 1 month. Those are just the fingerlings. But if you install here the fingerlings or the fries, so the snakes can just eat them because they're just small and the snakes are somehow big. So they can just eat them. So the hint beyond giving it, you don't access or you don't want the snakes to eat your fingerlings, you have to use the use of the cow dung. That one is not in books. That one is on the ground.
On the ground. That's
Yes.
one thing you will find on ground,
Yes.
but not on books.
Not on books.
I want to know something about. I can see some. I don't know what's popping on top of the.
Those are just thoughts.
Oh, those are.
But before I just install the fingerlings here, I'll just use lime or calcium oxide
To remove them out.
To remove them out or to kill them out.
And,
So
and the calcium won't affect the fish
it
even after you remove them.
sometimes the concentration goes down after like 1 week, so you can now restock.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other ponds, do they have fish?
That at the
The other
far
one.
end,
Okay.
but this one is still renovated.
Okay.
Some 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's just full of water. You can see it's just clear.
Yeah,
But
very
this one I'm just waiting for water to be clear. This one, which is the big one. So, but this one, what is now clear for the start or to commence the
To now-
fertilization.
okay.
Yes.
How soon are you planning to fertilize it?
To fertilize it, like 2 days coming.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll now start fertilizing this pond.
So you do it for commercial use, right?
These are for commercial purposes only.
Only.
Yes.
Aha.
Yeah.
Now this one, it's already planted with fish.
This is now where I'm just reallocating the fish from
okay.
onto the I am Marwa's villa.
Oh, wow.
They are just 3 months old, as you saw them there.
Yeah.
So I come here and I fetch them here, so I can just reallocate them from this pond to I am Marwa site.
Wow.
Because I am Marwa need something that you can just see and just enjoy how they're just moving.
Yeah.
We could not stock there the smaller the fingerlings because we want that because just a 1 month. Whereby we are people are just going to pop in and they can just come and leisure alongside the pond. They have to see something that's just moving,
Yeah,
so
sure.
and they see something good onto their
Like we just
eyesight.
saw.
Yeah, that's what he needed. So that's why he purchased from me. And the idea of the fish pond creation, constructions, the stocking came from this wonderful project.
You know, one thing that I've learned from you is that you were indeed a very business-minded. So you came up with the idea of building a fish pond in
So as I can-
Ayamarwa,
yes.
so that you could sell him
Of course,
the
yes.
fish pond.
Yes.
Is that on the net or?
That's the net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you used to.
To just remove the fish, which is the brood fish from here. But that net we will just be there. I'll just show you.
Yeah,
on
maybe
the side.
let's just see it. Okay, but you know, I'm just imagining about the size of the size of the fish that we saw earlier in Ayamarwa.
Yes.
They're still small, right?
Yes.
So how do you capture them using this?
That's now the point I want to drive home.
Okay.
This net here.
Yep.
Most of the people talk about the fishing net, but yes, in terms of we the local here, Just you can just say it's just a fishing net. But the actual name is just called the seine net, the seine net. So this is just used to just get fish from the fish pond. But you can see the size of the holes. The holes here, it's just 2 inches. So this cannot just capture the small fish, but they just only, this net is just used to capture the big fish, which are just around 150 grams to 2 and more. From 150 grams, it can be caught by using this net. But this smaller fish we have here, which is the brood fish we have here, they're just 3 months. We can just use the mosquito net or the lesser the hole, which is just 1 inch of the holes. But in terms of the reallocation is my first time of reallocating the fish. So I have not purchased that net of the reallocation of the the sizes. So the only thing I have is this net, which is just for the harvest purpose. So you just pass once from it's just long, whereby you can just stand here and it will just reach at the far end. So you go once, you pull it once to the far end, you have something something good in terms of now harvesting. So, but we harvest the big fish only. But it's my first time for reallocating them, whereby I've just harvested of 3 months old. Because business is business. It's like you can just get something by the name, the government can just give you. I've ever supplied to the government the KCSE, when the KCSE practicals I've ever supplied. So they need the same size because of the population. So the people are so many, you cannot just purchase for them the fish that's just, so they want these small sizes. So I've ever done that, so I've supplied and to more of the schools. So I have some small tenders. Okay. Yes.
That means you are doing good.
Not bad.
Yeah, sure. Guys, as you have heard from him, underscore what?
It's underscore Gintu, Gintu.
Yup, it's underscore Gintu.
Yes.
I hope you have learned so much about the fish farming. I hope you have seen how enlightened he is, how he's a good decorator, and how he's, just like I said earlier, enlightened on matters
Aquaculture.
Yes. This is Culture Hub TV. Remember to share, to like, and to subscribe on our page. And I am your host, Presenter Dante. Until next time.